Hello everyone, welcome to Elliott Wave Forex.com YouTube channel. This is Henry and today is Friday, April 8th. The time is 2 a.m. GMT. Today we are going to take a look at the chart of the Nasdaq. This is a 45 minutes chart here. Now let's take a look what we have. We ended with X at 15 to 70. Okay, so what that means then is by just looking at this label, you know that even though we move down, but that move down is a corrective structure, right? Because it's an X here. It's not a wave 2, it's not a wave 4, it is an X. Now that also means that we are now within this wave Y in the primary degree, and within the primary degree it will subdivide into a corrective structure, right? Now we are ending 1 here, but this 1 in the minor degree 1 2. So let me see here. So this 1 2 here in red, 1, okay, 2 3 4 and then 5, it will later formed a wave A in the intermediate degree, right? And then you got a B, you got a C, right? A completed ABC, and that will end. This is gonna end with Y. Okay. So let me erase this because the oops. What did I do? Okay, let me see if I can erase this. So 1 2 3 4 5 ending A, and then will be followed by B and C to finish the Y, right? So that's the idea from the Nasdaq. So we are now within the Y, but it's still a long way to go because we're only ending 1 here, and that 1 is part of A, and then we will have B and C to finish the Y. Now shorter cycle wise, right, in the shorter cycle you can see this move down. It looks impulsive. You can measure the extension here. So this is your wave 1, which is a nicely subdivided 5 waves, and then this is your wave 2. If you project on the downside, you can see it hits 1.618, typical of a wave 3, which is extended. But within this leg here, this one, it looks like a 3 waves here, and that's why we are calling this as an expanded flat, finishing with 4 here. Now we can see another leg down to finish a 5 waves down. Then from there we can see a 3 waves rally to correct this 5 waves down. Then as long as we stay below 15 to 70, we can then continue to see further downside in the Nasdaq. So what's the message here? Well, the message is very simple, because there is a what looks to be an impulsive move from 15 to 70. So the simple message is, as long as the rally stays below 15 to 70, we should see further downside again in the Nasdaq. Okay, so that is the message. Now in terms of all the possibilities, well, the possibilities could be wave 4 could be extending a little bit higher before turning lower to finish with 1, or in the rare circumstances, I guess we can even call it with 5 of 1 finish here. We just have to make the count for it. Maybe we have to call with 4 some sort of like a triangle here, to finish with 4 somewhere here to finish 5, right? So there are a couple of various options in the very short term, but all the options implying the same conclusion, that as long as we stay below 15 to 70, we should be more we should be able to see more downside. Okay, so some options I can think about, we can do like this to finish 4, right, to finish 4 before going down. We could be finishing 1. That means we can already start this, this big move here before turning lower. So all of them still just the same. As long as we stay below here, we should be looking for more downside. So we may or may not see one more push lower. The primary view calling for one more leg lower before we get a rally and further downside. Now what if we just the decline continues lower and it gets even faster, for example. Well, it doesn't just because you see this 3 rally and you think, oh, it has to rally a big move, it doesn't really have to rally a big move, right? Because the rally could be a simple 3 like this and then go down again, so the rally doesn't have to be that big. And as long as, again, the message is, as long as we stay below 15 to 70, look for more downside. We can even do a nest in the rare circumstances, 1 2 and then 1 2 and then going down, but again, that's not our primary view. But a nest will be a more aggressive move to the downside. Okay, now let's take a look at zooming out on the daily time frame. Alright, so we're gonna make sense of what we are looking at here. So if you take a look here, this is the X here. Now, without knowing really what's going on, if this is the X, right, then there's got to be a W, right? Now, you can see this move up. It looks quite impulsive. And this is a marginal low below here. So I think if you are good at Elliott Wave, you can probably already assume that, okay, this could be some sort of expanded flat here, right? And this is your ABC in the lower degree, of course. Something like this. EBC, right? And it finished there. So then what this is saying is that, okay, eventually in the Nasdaq, then if this is X, we're gonna break below here, right? We can extend lower like this to the next 100% extension. Now, before everybody got very excited, remember, this view is only going to get validation if we can actually break below here, below the low. So until it breaks below the low, now who knows, maybe this correction in the Nasdaq is finished and this is your first bullish leg, like a wave 1, and this is your 2, and then we're going to go higher again, right? But okay, so that's the longer term options, alternates, and we don't need to be concerned that much. So what should we be concerned about? I think in the shorter cycle is very simple, because the shorter cycle, the move down from here, it looks like a 5 ways with an extension. So that means we can conclude that at the least, or at minimum, okay, even if you are not bearish, right? But because if this is truly impulsive, like a 5 waves, then at minimum you should be getting a B and a C, right? At minimum you should be getting ABC. Now, if it turns out to be bullish, then after the ABC you're gonna get a rally higher. So then maybe, okay, you call this move up from the March 2020 maybe some kind of like a wave 1 of some kind, right, in the higher degree, right? So let's call it wave 1, I don't know, just make up the count, maybe in the super cycle or whatever you want, like a wave 1 here, okay? And so that means if this is your wave 1, this is your wave 2, right? Suppose you're bullish, you're thinking that, okay, Nasdaq finished the correction, it will go to a new high. Then this rally is your new wave 1 of the lower degree, right? So something like this. It doesn't change the fact that if this short-term move down from here is impulsive, then most likely you're still gonna get another leg down regardless, in the shorter cycle at least, right? Even in a bullish scenario like this, then most likely you're still gonna get ABC before it rallies to the upside. Now, if this is truly an X, then you not only get an ABC, you actually get acceleration, and it's gonna break below here, all right? But the idea in the shorter cycle is it looks impulsive. Therefore, as long as we stay below 15 to 70, we should be able to see further downside. Okay, so if you want to get regular updates on the Nasdaq or other indices, Forex, commodities, we have 14 days trial. The link is provided in the description of the video. So have a good weekend, everyone. I'll see you all again next week.